On this channel, I show you the most basic trading methods that you can use so that if you're a beginner in FIFA 23 Ultimate Team, you can still build up your coin balance and work towards some of the best players within the game. But on top of actually knowing how to buy cheap players, it's also worth talking about how to sell players so you can always maximize your coins. It might seem simple, but it really isn't. There are loads of different ways in which you can earn more by selling players at certain times of day or even doing certain things. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins, then there is no better place than AOA. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 23 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 3% discount. Link can be found in the description down below.
Nice.
Listing players on the transfer market may seem like the easiest part of the whole process. Is actually buying players for cheap that you can sell later for profit. But there are some things that you can do to A, help them sell quicker, and B, actually maximize the most amount of coins out of every player that you do list. Firstly, and this is a very basic one, but you do need to list regularly. Occasionally, I will go through FIFA live streams, watch people on YouTube, watch people on Twitch, and for those that aren't so comfortable at trading because they are much better at playing matches, when they do trade, they get frustrated that their player hasn't sold within the first hour. It doesn't always happen. The way that you actually get players sold is by listing them onto the transfer market, and the longer that they're on the transfer market, the higher chance you have of them selling. I know it's a basic one, but we did need to cover it, so we're covering it quickly. The second thing that you must be doing is listing for 12 hours overnight. If you're struggling to sell a specific type of player and you want them gone, the best thing that you can do is list them overnight. And you can even take this a step further where you could even slightly increase their price. Now, it may seem like a dumb idea. If you are trying to get this player sold, why would you increase them? Simply because once you go for 12 hours overnight, many people forget to do the exact same thing. So there is less of those players available onto the transfer market. Even now when it is cross-platform and we do have a shared market. Because so many people forget to list their players, it leads to there being less listed, and therefore sometimes you'll see players actually increase in price purely because there are still other countries which are playing, so the demand is still there, but the supply is a lot lower. Typically, this is for those which are living in Europe, and when they do 12 hours overnight, that's when the majority of the fan base does stop playing. So if you're one of those players that can remember to list the player for 12 hours, you have a higher chance of them selling. Plus, on top of that, if you do increase their price, there's still a good chance that they will sell, maximizing the most amount of coins you can make out of that player. Now, this doesn't work for every single player. If you're going through a bulk bidding method and you've got someone which is 83 rated, cost about 1,000 coins, it's probably not going to happen purely because there are so many of them. But if you're dealing with Team of the Week players, any other type of special card, high rated rare gold cards, or even icons or anything else of that matter, then it's likely that they will sell, and it's likely that you can get more out of them. The third way is to be strategic about the players that you're listing. And this can work in a couple different ways depending on the trading method that you're using. If you have loads of just one type of player, we're talking about you're going through a bulk bidding method, it makes sense for you to list them all at different prices instead of it all being at the exact same price. Let's say that I went through a bulk bidding method and I decided to go for Angelino. He was currently selling for about 800 coins, which I was able to bid at him for that price, and then I was able to sell him for 950 to 1,000. What I would do when actually winning those deals, because I'm able to win so many, I will list some at 900, some at 950, some at 1,000, some at 1,100. Now, the chances are those that were listed at 900, they're going to be gone within the first hour because they're listed below market price. They're the cheapest there. I'll likely sell about 50 to 75% of those listed at 950, maybe about 50% of those listed at 1,000. And then once it gets to 1,100, I'm probably gonna sell less than 10%. And all of this happens within the first hour. The second hour, what I would do is go through and lower the player's price. So for those that didn't sell at 950, I'll bring them down to 900. For those that didn't sell at 1,000, they get brought down to 950. For those that didn't sell at 1,100, I'll bring them down to 1,000. This does a few things. Firstly, it makes sure that you do not flood the transfer market. If I listed all 40 to 50 players that I managed to win, as well as carry on bidding on more to list them onto the transfer market as well, and I listed them all at 900 coins, it really wouldn't take too long for that to be Angelino's new price. Anyone else that was looking to do the exact same thing or even list their Angelino on the market, they're going to look, see that 900 is the lowest buy now and that there's a couple pages worth of him, so they might as well list him at 850, and that would ruin all of my trades. The second reason this is worth doing is because it does maximize the most amount of coins that you can make out of this particular type of player. It wouldn't make sense for you to list every single one of them at 1,100 coins because it's going to take an incredibly long time for them all to sell. You'll probably sell just a couple every hour and then you'll need to relist just to sell another couple. And it's just not worth doing. With this way, you're able to guarantee that you are still able to make profit on that lower end, but you're also still trying to grab for some of those more expensive players, which will give you even more profit. Once you start to work out the average amount of coins that you made per player, once you actually go through this, it ends up being a lot more because you managed to sell players at a higher price. Even if it is just a couple, it works out better for you than if you did just list them all at their bare minimum. You can also do this on the bidding side of things. Let's say that there is a player which is currently able to sell for 1,000 coins. That's their lowest buy now. And you know that you can comfortably win them at 800 coins. What's worth doing is bidding for some at 800, some at 750, some at 700, and maybe even some at 650. You already know that you're guaranteed to win those with 800 coins. That's easy. You'll win a couple at 750, you may win a few at 700, and you may get one or two at 650. This really just helps secure your position in the most amount of coins that you can make through bidding as well as also selling. Another way that you can do this, and this works for players which are slightly rare on the market where there is only a couple pages worth. We're talking high rated special cards, with there being icons or any type of promo that's available, or even just looking at rare players which are silvers or even bronzes. If there's just a few pages worth and you manage to go and get multiple of the exact same player, it's worth listing one and then holding the rest back. Once that player that you did list finally sells, that's when you'll list another one. This is just to make sure that you control the supply. If you throw all of them onto the market at the exact same time, it's likely that yet again, you're probably going to flood the market, in which it will lower those players' prices. If you're dealing with a player which isn't so rare, there's quite a few of them, but you still don't want to list them all at the exact same price at the exact same time, you can list them at different prices at different times. So if there's a player that sells for 1,000 coins, you can list one at 1,000, one at 2,000, and one at 3,000. The chance of the 2 and 3,000 selling is extremely slim, but you're also going to list the one at 1,000 for 1 hour, the one at 2,000 for 3 hours, and then the one for 3,000 to be listed at 12 hours. This is all just to make sure that it doesn't appear like someone is trying to price fix a rare player, because the second that someone sees that when they are looking to buy a player, it immediately puts them off. So by having different prices at different times, it's going to give players the suggestion that, okay, this is just all different people that are listing these players right now. This must be the value of this player, so I'm going to buy the cheapest one. And by the time your players expire, you can then lower that price. The last thing to talk about is really probably why you've clicked this video, of how to make sure that you are selling more cards. And it's likely that you've put way too many coins into just one player, potentially all of your coins. This is a mistake that I see players making all the time. And it's normally once they build to 100, maybe 200k, and then they see a expensive player such as an icon, where they're able to buy it for the exact same amount of coins that they currently have, except they're able to make about 50k profit. Now, yes, that is definitely nice to see, but for a lot of the times, they buy these players off peak hours, potentially overnight, which we have already discussed in this video. They buy them overnight, which leads to them being at a higher price, or there being less of those players available onto the transfer market. You buy them thinking that it's a good deal, you list them for 50k more, only to realize by the time you wake up the following morning that that player has now dropped in value, and you are about 60 to 70k above the lowest buy now at that current moment. You've now thrown all of your coins into that player, and you've potentially lost quite a bit as well. If this isn't a situation that you're currently in, that's great. You now know that you should probably avoid them within the future, because putting all your coins into one player just for you to wait for them to sell is a massive issue. You'll need to build from the bottom up to build more coins to start trading again, and even then you're not going to be able to deal with any of the big trades. You're dealing with something a lot smaller whilst you wait for that player to sell that is currently listed. If you are currently within this situation, you really have two options. You either take the loss, in which you sell them for a loss and you could start building your coins back up again, but at least you have coins you can start trading, or you wait until the following night where you can list them for 12 hours, lower the price slightly, and hope that yours will be the cheapest during that time, so that someone who's available to go and buy your card and is looking to do so will buy yours, and they're not going to look to trade, they're actually going to look to use them. But there's a chance that this won't happen, and you'll need to do this for multiple nights in a row until, well, they do sell, or you finally go for the very first option. What I'm trying to say is, with this one, don't put all your coins into just one player. That is a massive mistake. And if you are waiting for them to sell, you can go through all the different methods that we talked about within this video, and it's unlikely that they will still sell. It's just one of those things, and that will make your progression a hell of a lot harder. But anyway guys, this is how you can sell more cards within FIFA 23 Ultimate Team whilst also maximizing the most amount of coins possible. If you do have any questions, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.